if you look at a very macro level, the financial services market is very underpenetrated, across product categories, whether it's insurance, whether it's credit, whether it's banking, whether it's investment products. Just to share a couple of examples, insurance has about 4.5% penetration of the GDP. Credit is accessible again only to about 4 to 5% of the population, which is the formalized credit. So from a headroom perspective, and given India's population and the rising income levels and rising digitization, the potential of financial services is huge. And what's starting to happen now with the advent of or popularization of digitization and mobile, and with Aadhaar coming along and connecting the consumers with their identities, it's becoming possible to identify and hence give access to financial products in a cheaper and more accessible fashion. So from a potential perspective, there's a huge headroom available to the entire Indian population, which is what's very exciting to both the entrepreneurs, the banks and the financial services players, as well as to the investors who are looking at India as a very high growth market. So I'd say that's, I think, an area which is still work in progress at best. It's if I could just extend it, actually it's been a challenging area. If I talk to any normal consumer or if I talk to normal people outside of office, when I use the word personal finance or money, people are either scared of the term, or people say that I don't handle it. My father, my brother, my husband, or I listen to somebody's advice. I don't know, it's too complicated. So I think that's an area where it's been a bit of a challenge for the industry to make products simpler, make products more accessible, and that's what hopefully fintechs, including ourselves, are going to work on, which is our mission, that make products simple for consumers to understand, make it easier for them to compare, help them decide on what's the right product given their life stage and the needs, and hopefully then make it more accessible to the consumers. I wouldn't say that GST is something that there's of course a bump when any new change takes place, but it's in the long term going to simplify the tax structure, make it simpler for everybody to understand it, whether it's businessman or so from a long term perspective, no, it's not going to hit it. Of course there's a short term bump because of that. Again, at an industry level, if I see, two of the biggest challenges that I see is one is the lack of awareness of financial products, and the so-called fear of financial products. So consumers are hesitant to know more about and understand the financial products. So that's challenge number one. And the second challenge, which has been that how do you make financial products available to consumers in a cost-effective fashion? And how do you then make it kind of easier for them to purchase or apply for those financial products? So our company's mission, for example, is to try and play our part in both of those factors, make products really simple. So we try and listen to consumer and make the products in consumer language, so make it very easy for them to understand, make it very easy for them to compare options, make it accessible. So for example, last month we had consumers taking a loan from about 250 plus cities, which till about a year back was only 55 cities. So it's grown 5-fold. So digital allows you to expand your distribution and reach, and as digital expands further and as mobile becomes more popular, internet bandwidth becomes easier to access and cheaper to access, the access to financial products would increase. But currently these are the two big challenges, just the fear of financial products and ease of distribution. So the Indian startup ecosystem, especially if I talk from a financial services perspective, I think it's probably at the most exciting stage right now. Like I said, the upside potential is huge. The market is very underpenetrated. It's the second most populous country in the world. It's going to be most populous in some years. So the market potential is big. Digitization and Aadhaar are bringing the consumers' identity together, making it easier for financial services to kind of lend to them or make the products available. So over the next 4-5 years, I see at least a few $1 billion plus companies who are currently small, new, young, fintechs emerging, which is almost similar to what happened in e-commerce, for example. And so I'm very, very excited. Hopefully we'll be one of them, but very excited about the fintech potential in India.